Hello, 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 hello. How's it going, people? Welcome to the stream. I'm very sorry about the delayed beginning. Genuinely. Because out of nowhere, in a way, as they say, shit hit the fan. Genuinely. Calafiori, Emile Smith Rowe, everything instantly just went like that, and I had to delay a bit, but I had to delay the start of this stream, of course. To be honest, also, I'm gonna be honest with you, I set up the stream, I did everything, and bang, I fell asleep. Kid you not, fell asleep around generally 6 p.m. and about slept for an hour and a half nearly. But yeah, everything is going down basically. Calafiori has signed legitimately. Emile Smith Rowe is going to Fulham, and other things are happening, and everything's happening at once. That is the maddest part in all of this. Everything is happening all at once, and it's genuinely it's genuinely now hard to keep up. And to be honest, yeah, it is absolutely nuts. Big up Peppermint for being here. Abdi, big up, big up, big up, and generally felt like 20 years waiting for him. It generally is like that. Felt like I was sitting here for about 6 years doing Calafiori daily pretty much, and finally it has full on happened, and finally it is all going to happen quite properly. Not to mention the fact that apparently Calafiori is also training with the team already. Genuinely, there was already videos Calafiori going out training with the Arsenal squad. Mad, genuinely mad. So for once, actually something good can happen, and daily Calafiori can finally end. Generally, daily Calafiori can end. We're gonna talk about this in a second a bit more, of course. Emile Smith Rowe, daily Smith Rowe, and everything. Are you fit, bruv? And everything. He has left the club. He's going to Fulham. That also can end. And now, now we have to also focus on daily Mikel Merino by the looks of things. And yeah, hello, big up Charles. 27 million. Yeah. We're gonna talk about it in a second. Feels like a bit of a scam, I'm not gonna lie. I wish we could have gotten 35 million overall. The biggest thing is, big up. There are lots of people actually who think, not like me, but something in similar ways. I'm not gonna lie. Just either they don't speak about it as loudly, because let's be real, the more people speak like me, the more there's even more people who speak opposing like me, who are everyone's happy, everyone's fine. So you need balance in the world, it feels that way, but it is what it is basically. But yeah, it looks like everything's happening, and I have to get into this because it's gonna get mad pretty much straight up into this. So here we go, things are happening, everything's set up, and here we are, Calafiori, number 33 for Arsenal. It has been confirmed. Daily Calafiori has stopped. He has been announced. Took Arsenal only pretty much 30 days, full on month, to be interested, to bid for him about 55,000 times, being rejected 54,999 times, then 3 weeks of Basel and Bologna talking facts, and at the end it got cancelled, then it got delayed, then it got rescheduled, but somehow we have gotten here. Somehow we have gotten where we wanted to be. Calafiori is here, number 33 for Arsenal. And of course, Edu Gaspar has talking about him, so we're gonna look into that as well, of course. Yeah, backline already. Backline, that's the thing. Now, first things first, we don't know how Calafiori will look in Premier League, because there hasn't been an Italian defender in history who comes from Serie A straight into Premier League and hits the ground running. If it happens, it will be like generally 1 in a million chance, like winning a lottery, pretty much it feels that way. However, we already had the best defense in Premier League, and adding more solidity to that, and more strength and more depth, should increase us defensively even more, make us even more solid. Now we don't know obviously whether it's gonna happen, whether he's gonna be a starter, how it's gonna happen, but yeah, definitely it's gonna be a thing. And of course, yeah, Calafiori. Let's see what Edu has had to say. Edu Gaspar can only work one target at a time, genuinely. Although, you cannot say that, because we signed Calafiori, 3 seconds later, Emile Smith Rowe, aka Are You Fit Bruv, for the last 2 seasons, is already at Fulham. So you cannot say that, to be honest. Plus other things. So the question is, what's gonna happen next? Is this an Arteta out channel? Well, pretty much yeah. Pretty much yeah. Sorry, not sorry. Man City going after Bastoni. Really? Are you saying this out of nowhere, or is this actually true? Because I need to know now. I haven't had time to check any other transfer news. Genuinely. Anyways, Edu passed the Gar or Gaspar. He's been cooking something up, so let's see what he has cooked up in this interview, what he has said about Calafiori. It's been a great team effort in completing this transfer, and we welcome Riccardo Calafiori to the family. Pizza, spaghetti, bolognese, limoncello, and all that stuff. We identified Riccardo as part of our strategy to sign players who fit our profile, and we will reinforce our squad to complete at the highest level. Bro, this is PR 100. Genuinely, this sounds like PR 100. We have identified, we had strategy, we're gonna reinforce, and the highest level to complete. Everything on the PR level for Arsenal fans, chef's kiss, not gonna lie. He's 22, but brings quality and experience. Yeah, he's Italy international, and that's the thing. Although, it is what it is. He will quickly grow into being an Arsenal player. Riccardo has consistently shown his quality for his club and country. Yeah, that you cannot deny that. Although he's only 22, one of the key parts why Bologna finished in Champions League spot and everything, and why he was actually wanted by quite a bit of clubs. It wasn't just Arsenal, there was Juventus, there was Chelsea, Liverpool at some point, Real Madrid allegedly had some sniffing around, no Didi, and all that stuff, so it is what it is. He was one of the best players in Serie A last season, gave strong performances for Italy in the Euros this summer. We might ignore the own goal, but it is what it is. Everyone can get unlucky. Mikel and our coaches are excited to start working with Calafiori. We all look forward to seeing him in our short. Huzzah! Here we go. Here we go. PR is strong. How about Arsenal's success by any means necessary, Chan? Lee Gunner has an elite mentality and wish. To be honest, Lee Gunner says it as it is. He has never changed his tune about things he believes in, and he has very high standards. Genuinely. That's it. Genuinely. He has seen, just like many Arsenal fans, Arsenal win from in the 90s, into early 2000s. These days, yeah, he has kept the standards from those times to these days. It's just different times and many weak and snowflake type of people who are good at finishing top 4, and that's a trophy pretty much. But it is what it is. We are not talking about Lee Gunner here, although best of luck with him, and he is actually one of those that is keeping actually the standard of the club very high. Those tattoos and hair already got him exactly. Genuinely, he has the headband, so he already looks badass. He has a very incredible type of way. I'm genuinely sounding like a top gunner. I'm very sorry about that, but it's just for sarcasm levels 10,000 pretty much. The tattoos basically will make him one of Arsenal's favorites. That's instantly, because Jesus has tattoos, Gabriel has tattoos, and everyone loves them. And the headband basically makes him look like the next Maldini, when Maldini was at AC Milan and at the beginning predominantly playing left back. So basically it's all there. There's the hype, there's the PR, there is the looks, there is the shouting about him. Just you have to hope the performances can live up to the hype, and that's about it pretty much. It is what it is. What else? Arteta out, Edu out. Woo! Signing Calafiori took 30 days. Arteta out, Edu out. Woohoo! Yeah, we need more signings. In my opinion, Arsenal still need to sign 2 midfielders, a striker, and a backup for Bukayo Saka. So in ideal world, we'll need 4 players still to sign, for me personally. And that is not including if Ramsdale leaves. If Ramsdale leaves, we need to sign the 5th one, which is a backup goalkeeper. So there might be 5. I'm not gonna... Yeah, that's the thing. No striker means no league. But we're gonna talk about strikers, so there is still hopes, which are very clutching at straws on a certain level, but there is still hopes, I'm not gonna lie. 19 days left, people preaching patience, right? 19 days left until we kick off the game against Wolves at the Emirates, and we need to still be patient, man. I'm not gonna lie. As you can see, he's already training. He's already going with the team into the training. He's gonna be number 33. He's here and he's perfect. No Didi, but okay, we move. Riccardo Calafiori heading out with the training. And Arsenal confirm signing on Calafiori. Welcome to Arsenal, Ricciardo. Yeah. And all that stuff. Announcement video with the team, talks, and all that stuff. And of course, pretty much it took legitimately few seconds in all of this hype to happen until we saw this. And this is what I want to talk about. 27 million. Emile Smith Rowe transferred to Fulham, understood to be worth an initial 27 million pounds plus around 7 million in add-ons. Will be a joint record sale for Arsenal. Now, I'm not gonna lie. How to say this? I'm happy we got the deal done because I genuinely felt like Emile Smith Rowe wants out of Arsenal on the sole reason he wants some game time, because in the last 2 seasons Emile Smith Rowe at Arsenal played him only as 3 starting games, and the rest of them were subs when he wasn't injured and everything. And in last January, and I'm gonna keep beating this dead horse until it's legitimately destroyed, but in January when there were bids coming in for Emile Smith Rowe, low-key, nothing fully confirmed, but there were allegedly, Mikel Arteta said that he doesn't want to sell Emile Smith Rowe. He has a massive, huge part to play in Arsenal's title race. Now, what happened after January? We all saw. He started against Luton at home. He got man of the match. And after that, he got random subs for 10 to 15 minutes here or there. He genuinely didn't get what he got promised. So he got promised the world, but in the end, he got a small, tiny, I don't know, cottage booth in somewhere in the middle of hills. So at the end of the day, yeah, Emile Smith Rowe wanted out and he is out pretty much. He wanted some game time, and I think Fulham is arguably one of the most perfect places he could go, either Fulham or Crystal Palace. The way they play, that he might actually grow, he might express themselves, and if he starts consistently and can avoid injuries, there is a massive, massive good player there. I'm not gonna lie, the fact that people say he's not good for Arsenal is, for me, is a massive, massive disrespect towards Emile Smith Rowe, because he's good enough to be an Arsenal player. The thing is, he doesn't fit Mikel Arteta's philosophy, how he wants to play, first. Second of all, he is injured recently quite a bit. And third, which I think is most important in this situation, he doesn't have a position where he could play consistently for Arsenal. Because at left wing, he's not going to play, because there's Trossard, Martinelli, and who God knows whoever if we sign anyone. At number 10, we have obviously Odegaard, who feels like indestructible at times. Genuinely, he plays pretty much every single game, from bell to bell at times. Yes, we have Fabio Vieira there, but also Ethan Vanieri has been called up, so it will be interesting to see how Arteta balances that. Plus, Trossard can play that position and everything. If you want, you can also play Jesus in that position, by the way. And of course, at left number 8, he just doesn't work, in my opinion. Yes, he has the work rate, he can carry the ball, but he's lacking a bit defensively, and he's lacking a bit of strength department. And overall, it's a role which isn't his. I generally think it's not fully his. So he definitely doesn't have an out-and-out role in this instance. But 34 million overall. Okay, we can exclude the add-ons on the merit that they have to be achieved so we get the money. So if we don't achieve them, we don't get the money, or those add-ons may be achieved in about 2 years and we only then get the money. So initial 27 million pounds, which is about 32 million euros, which is not great, I'm not gonna lie. Which is not a good thing. And I generally believe that 27 million is a joke. I think I wouldn't say on such a level as a joke, but it's, I wouldn't say way less, but I would say about 5 million less than I would have liked to get for him. Especially how he has played and how he has done. But in other ways, you cannot ask for insane amount of money for a player who pretty much is out of favor with the manager, who has had quite a bit of injuries over the past few years, who has started only 3 games in Premier League in general in the last 2 seasons under Mikel Arteta, and he hasn't proven himself since the 21-22 season when he got that 10 goal scoring season, went together with Bukayo Saka. You could argue that 2 together single-handedly saved Mikel Arteta's job. It is a very, very weird one, but I wish we could have gotten more. And to be honest, on top of this, there are people who are suggesting to me that getting 40 million for Edin Nketiah is justified. If we cannot get even 35 properly for Emile Smith Rowe, there is no chance in hell we are getting 40 million for Edin Nketiah. Genuinely, I much rather pay 40 million for Emile Smith Rowe than I pay 40 million for Edin Nketiah. And 27 million for Edin Nketiah is actually a fair price. I'm not gonna lie. That is that. I definitely wanted to get that in this instance. One full on. How do you see will Arsenal sign Gyokeres? We're gonna get to that in a split second. Generally, we're gonna talk about Smith Rowe, and I think next one will be either Gyokeres or Raphinha or Mikel Merino. It's a domino effect thing, it depends. But we're gonna get into that in a few seconds, definitely. That's the thing. The real joke in this instance is not maybe selling Emile Smith Rowe for 27 plus 7, so a 34 initially. The big joke in all of this is that people think that asking 40 million for Edin Nketiah is actually fair. And genuinely, the biggest thing in this is, if actually we get more money for Edin Nketiah than we get for Emile Smith Rowe, 2 things. There is something wrong with the world. First things first, we know that could be the case. Second of all, genuinely that for once in his lifetime would be an Edu masterclass. If we would get 40 million for Edin Nketiah, or in general, get more money for Edin Nketiah than we get for Emile Smith Rowe. Because there's no chance in hell, in my eyes at least personally, that Emile Smith Rowe should go for less money than Edin Nketiah. It should be the other way around. It's actually kind of uncomparable in this instance. Yes, I might be biased towards Eddie. Yes, it might be this. But Edin Nketiah, he's 25 and he pretty much hasn't done anything to prove me that he is actually a proper striker. Because he can score here or there, but he wastes a lot of chances. Half the time he has deer in the headlights. Look, he trips over his own feet many times. We saw that in the preseason against Bournemouth as well. And compared to Emile Smith Rowe, who actually has had proper seasons, who actually has had proper integration in the team and has proven that he can single-handedly, in a way, carry the team in certain games, and he can actually be a proper team player who slots in and actually does the job, it's very, very rare and unprecedented for me in this instance. If we get 30 million for Eddie, I think 25 plus 5 for Edin Nketiah actually could be fair. We actually could get that. The thing is, the 100k a week he's sitting on is one of the biggest deal breakers you can ever have trying to sell a level of player of Edin Nketiah. And I have no idea how Edu will maneuver that situation. Edin Nketiah is a championship level striker. I'm not gonna lie, I can see him playing for Leicester, arguably. I definitely would love to see how he looks at Leeds. Because the time when he was for Leeds under Bielsa, he was looking very good, but then the injury and then he fell out of sorts a bit and it didn't work out, he got recalled. I generally think if he actually stayed the full season at Leeds at that time, they actually most likely would have bought him. Because from what I understood from Leeds fans, how I was talking to some of them, they actually really, really enjoyed Edin Nketiah. He had the same flaw then he has now. He can't finish consistently. That is the big thing. Closer to 35 to 40 for a 40. You mean in terms of Emile Smith Rowe? Because Edin Nketiah, there's no chance because Edin Nketiah is 25. He just turned 25. And Emile Smith Rowe is 24. For Emile Smith Rowe, I actually would have wanted to get 35 million. Genuinely, for Emile Smith Rowe, I wish we got 35 million. At least. No, well, not maybe at least, but overall. That is something I wish we could have done. And for Edin Nketiah, if we got the 27, I would be cool. But the fact that we got 27 plus 7, obviously it comes together with 34, which seems more than it actually is in a way, because the add-ons need to be achieved. If you don't achieve them, you don't get the money, is a bit of a yikes. It's a bit iffy, I'm not gonna lie. I'd take 12 for Nketiah. That's again, that is the other thing. 12 million for Edu Arteta, no matter what I have said, doesn't seem good enough. Doesn't seem enough in this instance. I would take 20 plus 5, maybe. I would take 20 million for Edu Arteta. 12 doesn't seem enough in this instance once again. We spent how many years giving these guys? Oh, don't even. We spent way too much on certain players, giving them experience. That is the big thing. In the way we have actually wasted money on re-signing them on very enormous contracts, like Edu Arteta, obviously. There was, of course, Cedric, El Neni. Then we can talk about Reece Nelson, but Reece Nelson in preseason actually looks pretty good. So if we manage to, on hype on the preseason, sell him for proper money, I'm cool with that, if we can get the money off the books as well. But we have spent way too much money on the subpar mid-level players, in my opinion. Mid-level Premier League, low-level Championship level players for sure. And here it is, Fabrizio Romano also is saying that it's a here we go. Emile Smith Rowe pretty much is a Fulham player. It is confirmed. And I guess Arsenal are getting more money. And now, on the brighter side of things, on the other side of news, we're gonna talk about players that may come in to replace Emile Smith Rowe, to maybe come in other positions we need desperately, if that makes sense. Generally, if that makes sense. Yes, CSR could be a good enabler for it. To be honest, the way Fulham play, and the way I see him slotting into Fulham's team, and I don't want to guarantee because that sounds very, very weird, but I can see him playing most of the games if he stays fit, and actually carrying a very important role, and actually doing good in Fulham, under Marco Silva, definitely. I can see him doing actually pretty darn good there. Anyways, now we move on, and here it is. First player, Leroy Sané. According to Team News and Ticks, on reports linking Leroy Sané to Arsenal, I believe this was the mystery German player. Oh, bloody hell. The other day I got an update that it was off because Bayern Munich couldn't secure their targets. Now, obviously, the same guy on Patreon said that there's a mystery German, and then he said, subscribe to find out who is the mystery German. Now we have fast forward a week and a half, and now he says that I believe the mystery German was they believe was the mystery German player. So you actually didn't know. Just say this straight up. You didn't know, and that is it. You just wanted some Patreon subs. But it looks like Bayern Munich couldn't secure their targets. Who they still wanted to sign as wingers? Because they signed Elise. Who else did they want as wingers? Anyone know? Did anyone genuinely know? Yeah, genuinely, this was massive cap, because he said there's a mystery German player, subscribe to my Patreon to find out who he is, and he just now believes, so he didn't know. Yeah, for me as well. I know Mikel Arteta loves Sané, and Sané likes Mikel Arteta. They've been together in the City, and this is another City reject in a way we would sign, and I don't want any City rejects, genuinely. But for me, it's a pass, genuinely, because most likely Leroy Sané would cost about, what, 50 million? 55 million? More or less, give or take, in that region, and we definitely can do better than that. We can sign a striker for that money as well. That is the big thing. That would be, genuinely, this would be a waste of money in my opinion as well. He already is injury prone, and if he gets more injured, he would be even less efficient for us. They might as well sign Pedro Neto then. Genuinely, might as well sign Pedro Neto then. Yeah, 34, 7 plus 7. So medicals for Emile Smith Rowe is this week, with a plan of him joining pre-season camp in Portugal. So that looks like this might be the thing. It might be done this week. See how fast deals can happen? See? Bang, pay, bang, bang joins. No, Arsenal. Since June are we trying to announce and sign and do everything with Calafiori. But it is what it is. It's Arsenal. We have to get used to that. Yeah, that is also it's it's a conspiracy in this instance. It's just a feeling because if you sign a player from City, the level of City that they have set the standard themselves for, if you get a player from City, you would expect from them to be maybe a bit better than the players you have and to perform on a certain level. And when they don't perform to your expectations, it feels like they play against you. Obviously, I think we definitely as a team have outgrown Zinchenko. Jesus, I could still give him a chance. There is an argument for him to be sold. If I had a chance, I would sell him and get a proper striker, but there is one big but. Pause. I am very interested to see if he gets used as a winger. Either Arsenal go for a striker and then use Jesus as a winger, or Arsenal sign a forward and then Jesus is all over the place, which is a very pissed off thing for me. I generally would love to see Arsenal sign a striker and use Jesus as a backup for Bukayo Saka. Because Jesus has everything you could ever pretty much want to have for a winger. Genuinely, if you ask me. He has, well, he doesn't have the most pace, but he has the trickery, he has very good dribbling. Wingers tend to over dribble the ball and hold on to the ball a bit, sometimes too much, which Jesus does as number 9, and as a number 9 you cannot do that, in my opinion. He doesn't need to be a very clinical finisher as a winger. He can kind of maybe hide that instance that he cannot finish on consistent basis, but he still can score. So that definitely for me would be an area I would try to explore. Yeah, that's the thing. ITK say way too much waffle. Just for the clicks, just for the money and everything. Exactly, that's the thing. Like, the information that is coming out from everywhere is actually mad. And the only reason actually I'm including this in the streams and videos and everything is that we get news about certain player from about 5-10 sources. More often than not, it comes from the same source, but there are times when it comes from 2-3 sources, and if you kind of compile that information together and kind of try and dissect it step by step, you can get some useful information out of it. That's something that overlays, differs, and everything. You can kind of make some random conclusions out of it. Yeah, that's the thing. Jesus as a right wing should never be up front. Well, I can't say that never, but he can play up front. But the thing is, Arsenal, I'm not sure they're going to sign a forward. We're going to talk about Gyokeres in a second, but we need to sign a forward in my opinion. The good thing about TSR sell, it's 27 upfront payments and add-ons. That's a good way of business. Can't pay for Merino. That's the thing. That is the biggest thing. We were told that we're going to sign a midfielder once we sell a midfielder. Emile Smith Rowe has now been sold to Fulham, and we get proper money enough upfront to pay for Mikel Merino. The big thing about this is, though, it's 27 million upfront. The reports, most of them, about 90%, suggest that Mikel Merino would be available from about 20 to 23 million in that region. There are some reports Real Sociedad could ask for 40. If they ask for 40, I'm not sure I'm willing to sign, genuinely. There's also rumors that Arsenal might sign Mikel Merino and Fabian Ruiz, both of them, by the way. I'm very interested in how that would go into Arsenal's plans, because that would definitely fit the narrative from my point of view, because we need 2 midfielders, winger, a striker, and then it depends if we sell Ramsdale or not. So 5 technically. Now, if we talk about Fabian Ruiz, as just mentioned, sources close to the situation have informed Call Offside that Arsenal remain interested in Fabian Ruiz. He is now understood to be seen as a viable option to strengthen the club's midfield. So now it becomes a question: do we go for Mikel Merino or do we go for Fabian Ruiz? Mikel Merino would be a cash instantly signing because he's on last year of his contract, so there's no chance he's gonna get loaned. Fabian Ruiz, as reported, most likely would be loaned with obligation to buy next summer, which actually could work for the next summer especially, which could maybe balance out the checkbooks and everything, and that actually would be a very interesting way to try and sign 2 midfielders, one straight up and one with loan with obligation to buy. I can see that working for Arsenal. Genuinely can see that working potentially for Arsenal. Good work, Edu and Emile Arteta. To be honest, they haven't done much. It took them a month to announce Calafiori, so that was dragged 2 out. Yes, they sold Emile Smith Rowe, finally. You could ask for a bigger fee, though. It's how you look at it. For me, Yes, they sold a player, yes, they signed a player, but signing Calafiori took way too long, a month almost, and selling Emile Smith Rowe, okay, he won it out, he won the game time, okay, cool. However, not enough money for me. 27 plus 7, I would have wanted for about 35 to 38 overall maybe, but 27 cash up front is not the worst thing if you think about the fact that you can instantly sign Merino, because that was reported most of the time that Arsenal will go and try and sign midfielder as soon as a midfielder is sold. So Emile Smith Rowe has been sold. It means that we're gonna go after Merino most likely. Big up, yeah, smash the like, subscribe, hit that bell, all that stuff. Much appreciated if you do that. And thank you for being here, interacting in the chat. And whoa, 32 live viewers. The biggest one I've ever had, I'm not gonna lie. Biggest one I've ever had. Thank you guys so much for being here. Now, we're gonna look back at this now. I'm gonna refresh this. Let's see. What else we have to talk about? Emile Smith Rowe, confirmed. Yeah, Hardwell. Okay, cool. Calafiori has been announced. And yeah, here it is. More on Mikel Merino. Arsenal's interest in Mikel Merino is alive after new talks in recent days. Atletico Madrid tried to include him in the deal for Robin Lenormand. Yes, they signed Robin Lenormand from Real Sociedad as well, by the way. He's a very good defender definitely for Simeone's system and everything. They're trying to freshen up their team, but the player delayed, and hence he's not here. Barcelona are also interested but focused on other targets right now. They're focusing on signing Nico Williams, which again is gonna kind of slowly gravitate into another player we have been linked with today and reportedly could go after. Now, here it is. Who is overrated? Is this guy who is overrated? Nico Williams or Lenormand or Merino? I would say it like this. Mikel Merino used to play in Premier League. He was very young, so he didn't do much. He got on loans to Borussia Dortmund, and then he went back to Spain and played for Real Sociedad. He plays as a 6/8, depends on how he needs to be played, together with Zubimendi in that instance. And the way he has been hyped up by our fan base definitely doesn't live up to the things he can do. He's strong. He loves to alive right in the box, similarly like Granit Xhaka did for Arsenal. So that's the replacement for Granit Xhaka instance. Because Declan Rice, for example, if he plays that day, he sits on the edge of the box. Merino definitely likes maybe running in late for that late pass back and everything, cut back and everything. He has a decent pass on him. He can shoot long distance. He's physical in the instance that he loves to make tackles like a proper number 8/6. So that is a good part. For me, he is not per se a player that elevates our starting 11's quality massively. He might maybe cement it at a certain level, but he definitely is a player that kinda, as I have said this since we have been with Mikel Merino, he kinda decreases the gap we have in the drop-off from the starting 11 to our bench, because our bench is shambolic and we need replacements and improvements in that regard. And he's not a world beater in no instance. Same goes for Fabian Ruiz. Personally, I would sign Fabian Ruiz, but that's just my preference because I like the style of play how Fabian Ruiz plays more. The thing is, what we need in the number 8 position, you could argue Mikel Merino has a bit more than Fabian Ruiz in this instance. Although Fabian Ruiz has a decent pass just like Mikel Merino, but he is more technical. He has better tech on the ball, better touches and everything. He's more of a playmaking type of aid. Mikel Merino, yes, he can playmake, he can pass. He's more of actually that box-to-box type of player who actually runs and defends as well a bit more. Now the thing is, Fabian Ruiz was incredible at Napoli. If you watch Napoli play when Fabian Ruiz was there, he was a world beater. He went to PSG and he generally stunk out the place. Although he was one of the best players in the Euros, so that's why you cannot judge players by the Euros only. That is the big thing in this instance. Is he better than Jorginho? Yes. In that instance, yes. Mostly, well, not by much, in my opinion. He's more pacier than Jorginho, that's for sure. He doesn't have the dark cards Jorginho has that pissed us off when he was at Chelsea, so that's the biggest issue for him in that instance. He is pacier Jorginho in a way, but he is an improvement on Jorginho, I would say that much as well. I'm good with Merino. He will plug in and do a job. Nothing fancy, he will keep things ticking and be reliable. We just need to add an Eze or another attacking mid. That's the thing. For me, the biggest thing about this number 6A type of situation is the fact that we need a player who has the same profile in a way that Thomas Partey has, who can play under the pressure with tech and play and connect our defense to our midfield, to our offense. Like maybe skip a step and then maybe connect with a long ball defense to our offense. And that is Declan Rice, as good as he is in that number 6 role, when he is under pressure on certain occasions, doesn't have that in him. He needs to grow and develop in that department, in my opinion. Yes, playing under high pressure in West Ham and defending most of the time, he has that in his locker. He can spray long balls, there's no argument about that. But it's a bit different when you play for Arsenal, because for West Ham they play more defensively, Arsenal play more possession based and ultimately pretty much attacking the whole game. So there is a bit less pressure on West Ham because they can legitimately counter-attack instantly. And that is the thing where Declan Rice many times excels at. For Arsenal, you need to be methodical, patient, and you play the horseshoe U type of shape attack. And when you try to play out from the back, you need a player who can instantly spray the ball. And at times it feels like the Declan Rice, if he plays that number 6 role, gets caught napping, if that makes sense on occasion. And I definitely believe that if we sign Mikel Merino, he might help in that instance. Because the player who we sign means that one other player will move to 6. And this is the thing. If we sign Merino or Fabian Ruiz, it doesn't matter. The big question is who is going down to 6 and who is playing the 8. Because we all saw in the season's first part last year that when Havertz played that left number 8 role and Declan Rice was playing as a 6, it wasn't clicking. Yes, you can write the half off to Havertz, but there's definitely a certain issue with the fact that Declan Rice is not maybe an out-and-out 6 and he doesn't maybe excel in that role to an extent maybe Mikel Arteta wanted at the point. As soon as we put him at 8 and Jorginho played to 6, when he has technical ability, he can dribble in tight spaces and give proper passes because his footballing IQ and passing is exquisite, mind you, we instantly started to click. Genuinely. And that is the big thing. And we saw that Rice doesn't have that in his locker. So that player who we signed, there's a big chance he actually might play at 6. And if we want that tech player, Fabian Ruiz, in my opinion, fits the bill more than actually Mikel Merino. The pricing and everything is the big key. If we want a proper number 8, and maybe if we push Rice to 6, then you can make an argument for us to maybe sign actually Mikel Merino. Man United going for Ugarte, and we getting these Merino. To be honest, I don't rate Ugarte. I'm not gonna lie. This might be a hot take. You may disagree with me, but whenever I see Ugarte play, it's not it. He's not him in that instance. For United, he would be good. There's maybe as a replacement or overall for the midfield. For me, Mikel Merino is a player who fits us more than Ugarte could ever fit in this instance. That's at least my opinion on this. The way I have seen PSG in Champions League, or on occasion when I have watched Ligue 1, when PSG play against Marseille, against Lyon, whoever they have played, Fabian Ruiz hasn't looked excellent, and to be honest, Ugarte hasn't looked excellent. But in this instance, you need to take into account that PSG as a whole club is a mess. They're trying to figure themselves out. Since the day they signed Neymar, they had Mbappe, and they signed Messi, it's been a total and utter mess, and they're trying to figure things out because Mbappe is gone, Neymar is gone, Messi is gone. They're trying to rebuild, and they're trying to do things on a different level. They're trying to sign now a marquee player, which I don't know they're gonna get because they're not signing Osimhen, Kvaratskhelia, Leao, or anyone. So it will be very interesting to see how that develops. But yeah, at this instance, for me, the way I look at PSG, they are a mess in a way, and They don't have a proper play style, a proper system, and that's why maybe the midfielders look not great and maybe average in my opinion. But if they hit the ground running, that's when you can judge them, because you can see if there is a proper system and you play the proper player in the proper system, there definitely is something you could definitely get out of the player. But anyways, Gyokeres, HITC, whoever that is by the way, can confirm that Arsenal scouts were in attendance to check on Victor Gyokeres in action against Athletic Bilbao on Saturday. Gyokeres has 84 million release clauses, but there's the belief that Sporting could now accept a deal near to 60 million pounds. 60 million, if this is true, according to Graham Bailey, if this is true, right? For all that is holy, cheap, beautiful, and everything that is wet. No, pause. Go and sign him. Because us not having number 9, again, will be the biggest reason why we don't win the league. Because our defense is good. We need a midfielder, maybe 2, yes. But the biggest reason is why we cannot win is the fact that we don't have a number 9. Who we can give the ball to, who can hold up the play, if who's in the box and slot it in properly in the net. And that is for me Gyokeres. Because there's no other one we could sign. We can go for Tony, but Arsenal don't like Tony. That was according to reports about 2 weeks ago when Emile Arteta didn't like his attitude or whatever didn't like about him. We are not getting Isak and we are not getting Osimhen. If we get Osimhen, I will be hella pissed. I'm not gonna lie. Because Osimhen of all the strikers we can get is on the bottom part of the instance. I much rather have Gyokeres, Isak, Ivan Toney, even Oli Watkins, and then Osimhen only follows. I don't rate Osimhen as high as, by the looks of things, many people do. That's just my personal opinion and thoughts on this. But Gyokeres would be, in my opinion, the perfect signing. Because that would mean we have a proper striker, and the way we create chances, the way we play, the way we cross the ball, definitely he's a proper finisher and a proper striker. He came back from knee surgery after 2-3 weeks in the summer, and in the first game instantly bagged the hat-trick, just showing that he is ready to go. And mind you, Arsenal have been actually scouting Gyokeres for about 4-5 months actually. From all the reports and everything that they're talking about, how everything is going, they're actually saying that there's actually belief that Arsenal have been scouting him for about 4 or 5 months. And you don't put that much intense scouting into a player, held dinners, held talks and meetings with a player, if there isn't actually a concrete interest in the money wasting to sign him. What I mean by money wasting is spending on all the meals and all the stuff just to talk to player and see what it's about. So I definitely believe there is a massive argument to be made that there's actually a proper concrete interest in Victor Gyokeres. Now the thing is, will Arsenal go for him? Will Arsenal sign Gyokeres? Because it's believed that Arsenal at the moment is gonna go after Merino in the midfield department, and then Arsenal will actually go for striker, because as it says here it is, Riccardo Calafiori will be Arsenal's new player from Bologna for fee for around 40 million according to Pedro Almeida. Now, the player should be announced in the next few days. He got announced today, he said that yesterday. Victor Gyokeres from Sporting is now Arsenal's main target. Other reports are saying the same thing. Gyokeres and Merino are the two main targets, and we will go after Gyokeres after we sign Merino, apparently. Now, here is the thing. Today we have been linked with Raphinha. Not sure where they get this value from, but it is what it is. Arsenal have bid 50 million for Raphinha, which would allow Barcelona to sign Nico Williams from the Athletic. Now, and here is the full story, more or less. According to reports, Arsenal are preparing a 50 million bid for Raphinha. The Gunners tried to sign Brazilian before he moved to Barcelona. Mikel Arteta remains a big fan of the player. Barcelona would be willing to let the winger go this summer if they can complete a deal for Nico Williams. Now, it's been no secret that Arsenal wanted Raphinha when he left Leeds and went to Barcelona. It's been no secret that Arsenal have been linked with Raphinha every single transfer market you can imagine. But on top of that, it's been no secret that Barcelona are heavily linked with Nico Williams, and Laporta himself, the Barcelona president, has said that he wants to sign Nico Williams at Barcelona. Now the thing is, they have already countless wingers. They're interested in signing Dani Olmo, who can play as a right winger slash as the number 10 as well, which in the end means someone has to go. And again, as always, since it's Arsenal, we need a winger. There's again talks about Raphinha circulating all over the place. 50 million for Raphinha is no chance in hell, sucker. Genuinely. If we sign Raphinha for 50 million, I'm gonna go riot in front of Emirates. Because that would be so much money wasted. Mind you, how many we have already wasted on the useless transfers. It would be so much wasted money, it actually would be sickening, if you ask me, to be honest. No one paying that money for Gyokeres. Even João Neves went for 70 million euros, which is about 65 mil. We can do that, don't we? Exactly! That is the thing. Whole transfer window, João Neves, 130 million or 120 or something like that. And then bang, he goes for more or less half the price, a bit more, obviously with add-ons and all that crap included. And now, again, there are numerous reports saying there's 90 million pretty much release clause on Gyokeres, and for the latest week it's been said that Lisbon Sporting are willing to accept between 60 to 70 million. Only team that is holding out for the full price you want for the release clauses of a player is Napoli and their president, who won 110 million for Osimhen. Only team. Rest of the teams have lowered their pricing instantly. And to be honest, there is a massive chance Arsenal actually might go for Gyokeres. And I actually want Arsenal to go for Gyokeres, because if we don't sign a striker this summer, we are screwed already. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, we are screwed instantly. By the way, let me know what you think about this Raphinha business. Would you take Raphinha? If Raphinha would be for this price, what's written here, 24.3 million euros, would you take him? Because there's no chance in hell I'm taking him for 50 million. If that price is real, slap 20 million more and go and sign Gyokeres. Have a brain cell. Use Jesus as a right winger. Generally, have a brain cell in that instance. This was the stat of the day by Orbinho. Emile Smith Rowe has started just 3 Premier League games in the last 2 seasons. Imagine that. Imagine that. This I liked mostly because I know Yapstam is talking about Manchester United here, but it kinda coincides, I'm sorry, my arm is itching, with Mikel Arteta. As a manager, you need people who will go against you and challenge you. And hopefully Ruud van Nistelrooy and Rene Haak obviously will do this. Ruud, of course, is a legend of the club. Now, why am I talking about this? It's mostly about Mikel Arteta and the fact that we don't have this in our team. Because every single player, manager, staff member, and everything in our team is yes, Mikel, aye, Mikel, yes, 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 yes. Basically, a full bunch of yes men who generally follow blindly Mikel Arteta. And as Yapstam said, you need people who will go against you and challenge you. And that is what Ivan Toney would be doing if he was at Arsenal. Because he has an ego. He has this aura about him, which he tolerates no bullshit, and he will say it as it is, more or less. He has done it already at Brentford. There's no shadow of a doubt he will do that at Arsenal. And for Arsenal, that is the thing we need desperately, in my opinion. At Arsenal, we need some egos. We need some dirty type of players who say it as it is, who has that dark aura a bit about them, who will not always say, yes, I will do that, but who will actually stand up for what they and how they want to play. Because manager's job is not to get players to play how manager wants to play them. The manager's job is to envision how he can unlock the players in the system he envisions. He needs to unlock the players. He needs players that will not only be yes men, but also will be players with egos that will challenge him to another level. Because it's easy when everyone around you says, yes, I will do that, yes, 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 and we'll listen to you. But when you have a person who is like the dark sheep of the family in a way, who kind of goes against you, who says, maybe we should do things that way. No, I don't think that would be necessary. I think Barrett would be like that. When you don't have that, you just sit still and you don't do nothing. I generally believe that Ivan Toney, with his the way he expresses himself, the way he's presenting himself, would be the perfect thing for Arsenal. But Mikel Arteta doesn't want this. He just wants calmness, chill. He doesn't want any storm in his rainbow cloud team. And that is the big issue for me with Mikel. One of the biggest issues, if you ask me. Pass on Raphinha. He ain't got it. Play in the Prem anymore. Life is easy for him now. To be honest, he has moved to La Liga. He hasn't hit the ground running. Let's be real. He hasn't done what he has done at Leeds. He is actually performing the same / worse. So it is what it is. You have to think about it that way. But yeah, what Calafiori? Why did you choose Arsenal? Calafiori, why did he choose Arsenal? A lot of things. I spoke a lot with the coach, Edu, and they convinced me. Whoopity-doo, whoopity-whoopity-whoopity-doo. I need to pause this, might be hit for copyright. But I always convinced myself I think is the best project for myself in the next few years. Calafiori is joining Arsenal. It feels amazing. It was tough until now, but finally we are here. I cannot wait to start to train with the team and play for the team. What's wrong with Raphinha? Genuinely, for me, it would be an underwhelming signing. I genuinely believe he's past it in a sense that he just couldn't do it at Arsenal. Because Raphinha would demand, first of all, high money. He would demand a proper starting role, most likely. And he's not getting that, no chance in hell whatsoever. Yeah, he tore up the Premier League. But since you would expect for him to move to La Liga, and do the same. But he hasn't done it. He's done the straight opposite. Genuinely, he has done the straight opposite. Wait. Because, yes, Barcelona fans actually like him. I'm not gonna lie, Barcelona fans really like him. But for me, he is just not it. Genuinely, he is just not it, in my opinion. View full stats now. La Liga, yeah. See? He has played the same amount of games and he's on the same amount of points. In pretty much 40% less minutes played. He has played 64 games in La Liga, 65 in Premier League. He has scored less goals in La Liga compared to Premier League, but he has assisted more. He has 29 points in 64 games, so he has 29 points in 65 games. So that is good. But the thing is, in La Liga, he does it on quicker pace, and he has played 1,849 minutes less than he has in Premier League. 1,849 minutes. That is a massive difference. Genuinely. You would think that coming from Premier League, he would kick on and do better. Because usually the good players that leave Premier League actually tear it up in other leagues. But he hasn't. Generally, he hasn't. And 50 million for the geezer. No thanks. It's way too much. For me, it is way hella too much. I'd much rather than go and sign Pedro Neto. Or slap 20 million on top and go sign Gyokeres and use Gabriel Jesus as a winger. Genuinely. It's not it. Not it. Now, Emile Smith Rowe has left Arsenal. Hey yo, he has left Arsenal. Preseason tour in the USA to complete his transfer to Fulham. I guess he's flying to Portugal most likely. Stats aside, Raphinha is a steal. You think 50 million for Raphinha is a fair price? 50 million for Raphinha is a fair price. Because for me, he should be 35? 30 to 35, I would take him maybe. 50, no chance in hell. Way too much. Way too much. Way too much. Genuinely. For me, it's way too much. 50 million in this instance. Wait, let me check this by the way. You could say Barcelona. Let's check this before we say goodbye and do all that stuff. Barcelona. How much money allegedly he is on? Where is Raphinha? You cannot see this, right? It's a bit cut out. Okay, now, what we're gonna do, for a quick second is do this. So you can see where is Raphinha. For a second only. For a second only. Raphinha is here. He is on 240 grand a week. He has 3 years left on his contract. He gets 12.5 million a year. I don't think that is good business, because signing for Arsenal means he would get about 220 to 240, more or less the same amount. I genuinely don't believe we should do this. It would be way too much money wasted. Way too much money wasted. Generally, 27 years old, yes, you may think he's not that old anymore, not that old still, but for me, it's way too much. Generally, way too much in this instance. Genuinely, way too much. But it is what it is at the end of the day. We are who we are, and if we sign him, yeah, I will be disappointed, I'm not gonna lie. But it is what it is at the end of the day. But anyhow, it doesn't look like there are many updates. We talked about signing Calafiori. We talked about signing Emile Smith Rowe selling. We talked about all that stuff. So it is what it is. The eyes don't. Now, I don't deny the fact that he teared it up for Leeds. But he is very good when he can express himself and play very progressive attacking style of football, taking on your opponents. Arsenal just doesn't play that way. Genuinely. Barcelona tends to play that way still. They play very fast, very quick pace. He has to play on left wing because Yamal is on the right wing. The thing is, Raphinha comes, he's never going to be a star. He's going to be a bench player. And 230 million for a bench player, never going to work. That is the big thing for me. We would be way overpaying. That is for me at least. But anyways, I'm going to end it here. Arsenal have signed Calafiori. Arsenal have sold actually instantly pretty much... what's his face? Emile Smith Rowe. It looks like Mikel Merino deal, by the looks of things, might go through actually pretty much very, very soon, because it was said that Arsenal, once they sell a midfielder, they're going to sign a midfielder, so that might be on the cards. And there are still reports that Arsenal might actually sign a striker. Not sure, but it remains to be seen, because it's very interesting, because we haven't been linked properly with a winger, mostly with number 9, so that is very interesting. Are we working with a winger in silence? Or are we actually going to go for the number 9? All remains to be seen. But thank you guys so much for being here. You have been fantastic. You have been incredible. Take care. Stay safe. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe. Do that all stuff. Don't forget to comment in the video below if you're watching as a repeat. Take care. Stay safe. And see you all tomorrow.